Back. My name is Chris Sachinelli. I get to build, buy, and sell simple profit businesses every single day. And today is all about showing and not telling. If you're watching this and you don't know who we are, that's perfectly okay. I'm going to be getting into a background in a couple minutes here. But for the first part, realistically, let's get aligned. At the end of the day, for us, from our perspective, for ourselves over at Bootstrapper Capital and the ecosystem which we're building, we're trying to allocate as much performance-based capital as we can to simple, profitable, or profit-led business owners across America, right? So we're really building capital for the rest of us. We're trying to finance and help grow as many small business owners across America as we possibly can. Those of us who do not raise millions and millions and millions or billions of dollars of venture money, right? If you're building a profitable business, if you're relying on the profit in your pocket to do things like pay for payroll, right? Pay your vendors or put food on the table for your family, this is for you. And that's who we are building for, right? End of the day, because we're trying to allocate capital, because we're trying to make investments, it's all about how we can potentially remove risk from the investments we're making, right? We want to be able to find more of the right business owners, right? More of the folks that care about profit in the pocket, building sustainable businesses that will be last for a long time. We want to be able to ultimately deliver affordable and flexible solutions. That's the goal in terms of why we built what we built and how we approach things, right? So when you're thinking about this today, and thinking about it for yourself in terms of how we can help you unlock value inside your business, put more profit in your pocket, get to higher valuations, better terms on investment, larger exit multiples. Think about why we did what we did, right? End of the day, again, my name is Chris Sachinelli. I'm proudly a bootstrapper. I've been bootstrapping for well over a decade now. In fact, my first exit was close to 20 years ago when I was in high school. I went out and I got myself a job, and the guy that I worked for was a small business owner, and he saw a little bit of an entrepreneurial spark or spirit in me, and he supported me. And we went on and built a couple of simple businesses, one of which was a personalized baby album company, and I ended up going on and selling that. That was my first real exit. And fast forward throughout the years, continued through this journey of building, buying, selling, and now what we're focused on is investing in profit-led businesses, right? So I'm the owner of Simple Holdings. We're a little holding company, which a holding company is really it's like a cool term now, I guess, but we structured this about a decade ago after one of my last exits. I bootstrapped the business to 8 figures, and this was realistically how we were going to double down and simplify, to be able to move forward. So Simple Holdings owns a portfolio of brands that we're building, and each of the brands are focused on providing a straightforward, simple solution that business owners need to build profitable businesses. And I'm also the founder of Bootstrapper Capital, where we're looking to fund those profitable businesses. I'm the author of the book on bootstrapping. There's a theme here. I also wrote 3 other books as well, including my first one when I was 20, when I was first getting in it myself. So it's been a while. And then the 3 that you see on the screen. I'm the host of the podcast Bootstrapping to Billions, where we are ourselves in the process of bootstrapping to billions. And then we interview other folks that have accomplished amazing, phenomenal things in their journey, building, buying, and selling profitable businesses. I personally write our newsletter, which is a weekly newsletter. We're celebrating our 300th. We've already celebrated our 300th issue. Simple Profits, which goes out to about 50,000. We're trending towards 100,000. Hopefully soon, knock on wood, profit-led business owners. So we've done quite a few things. Here's the books over here. And in terms of what we do, what we're focused on, right? The primary focus, my Northstar, when I'm building our business each and every single day, the thing that I care about the most is how do we create the most affordable and flexible capital? We say solutions across the board, but it really all started with the money. Because at the end of the day, 75% of small businesses fail within their first 5 years. And when we look at the numbers, when we look at the data and we ask ourselves why, the resounding reason is typically capital or access to capital. It's capital and it's solutions, right? So typically the first reason becomes capacity of the business owner. I don't have time to do something, or I don't know how to do something. And then, the simple solution to that becomes, well, find the right people that know how to do it and do have the time, and then pay them. And the typical the constraint on that is capital. I don't have the money to invest inside those solutions. So with the portfolio that we're trying to build, we're trying to take away both of those constraints. We want to build a full platform, a full portfolio of solutions that provide affordable and flexible solutions to help business owners building, buying, and selling. Our portfolio today is sound and it's growing. Everything starts somewhere, and we plan on having a really phenomenal portfolio of businesses and brands that provide extremes amounts of value over the next 10, 20, 30 years, right? So everything starts somewhere, and we're just getting started. And as we build these brands and as we provide these solutions to the market, we also want to provide the capital, and we want to be the capital partner of choice until a business owner no longer needs one. And the moment in time in which somebody doesn't need one is hopefully the moment in time in which they sell their business. And since we do have a business brokerage in our portfolio of businesses, hopefully you sell through us. But we want to create the most affordable and flexible performance-based capital. And our performance-based capital ebbs and flows with the performance of the business. So you repay us when you're able to, and when you can't, you don't. So unlike traditional debt, it's not heavy on the cash flow. It doesn't, kill the business. And unlike equity, it's not, intangible. It's not something that's, too expensive for a small business owner, because small business owners, you're not building a massive rocket ship, right? It's not the next Uber of X. You really shouldn't be giving away equity in your business if you're going to be building something for the next 10, 20, 30 years, right? Equity is not a great option. So hopefully what we're doing is a better version of both, and it ebbs and flows with the performance of your business. It's flexible. And then because we want to really be able to position our own brands in terms of solutions, we can offer discounts that make it affordable. So we've actually created a way to create zero cost of capital within our ecosystem if you purchase solutions from our ecosystem. And then outside of our ecosystem, we provide growth and acquisition capital. So if you're looking to grow by maybe hiring folks, or applying or allocating capital to things that are outside of our ecosystem of brands or solutions, you get the money, you put it to work, and that's the growth capital. And maybe you find a business that you want to buy, and then that becomes acquisition capital, and we'll help you finance those acquisitions. So, we have three uses of capital: things inside of our ecosystem, things outside of our ecosystem, and then acquisitions. And hopefully, through this journey, we're able to support more business owners. I mentioned earlier our newsletter. So we do have a newsletter which goes out to 50,000 or so small business owners. It's a weekly newsletter today. At one point, it started as a daily newsletter as we were growing, and now we're fairly stabilized. I plan on growing it some more over the next coming months. We want to target 100,000 business owners as we kick this thing forward, and hopefully help more folks, unlock value and get to simple, profitable outcomes. But Simple Profits is the newsletter. I enjoy writing it. I write it every single week, and every single week we run a poll. And the poll is really to take a pulse of, what are business owners thinking about? What's important to you? How do we unlock more value? And then on my YouTube channel, which isn't a massive channel, but it's a way for me to, at scale, try to get folks to know me a little bit better, right? So we do have we're 200 videos deep. We don't have a ton of subscribers yet, but I think we're about 1,500 or so subscribers. Every video is getting a few thousand views, which is great, but it's an opportunity for us to host these Teach, Train, Equips, where we run the poll. We then create content around whatever question or interest there is in the audience. And then we design digital products. Maybe one of those digital products is, what you're getting today, and why you're hopefully, watching this video, and maybe you're getting access to it from this journey letter that we created that shares all of this information: who we are, what we're about, how we launched this community that we have in public, and the problems that we're solving for. And then linked inside of this letter is, different ways that you can get access to our digital products, mostly, if not all, for free, using promo codes that we've created or different ways that you can get access, quite literally showing and sharing what it is that we do first, so that we lead with the value and we lead with the tangibles, right? So getting back to this, if you find yourself in this, then everything starts somewhere. And in our business system, the way that we work with folks, we started it so that everything, starts with one of our digital products, right? So we create this content and we create templates, digital products that we license, and you can get access to that. So you can get a free licensed product over at our shop at shop.bootstrappercapital. Bootstrappercapital.com is where we do our capital and where we operate our brand from. But if you purchase or if you check out, using a promo code, you don't have to purchase, you get it for free, any of the digital products that you want, the byproduct of it is you afford us the opportunity to hopefully position something that you may need. And in our journey of building businesses, in our journey of working with clients, in our journey of allocating capital now and at other points, diligencing businesses for acquisition, to buy and doing all of these things, we've learned a few things. We've been around the block for a little bit, and we know that everything starts somewhere. And where we would like to start relationships is with a personal exit plan. We'd like to understand where you are in your journey. So if you purchase or check out any of the digital products, for free or whatever the case may be, then you're going to get an invite to be able to create an account in our community, right? So capital, products, community. If you land in the community is where we host our events. It's where we run workshops and AMAs. It's also where we deliver our products. So if you end up, getting access to the products, you can get, truly actually get access to them here. And this is where you would, get, point and click all of the license and materials that we create. And then the ways in which we support each other with accountability as a community. It's really, think of it almost as a collective benefits organization. We're trying to collectively create as much value as we possibly can for business owners, and then just a simple place to be able to deliver it, right? Almost like a container of value. We've also invested heavily in, boot camps, which all follow different types of structures and strategies, many of which have been outlined inside of our books that we've written. So many of the boot camps go hand in hand, with these books that we've invested a ton of time into, that actually show templates and processes to work through. And then you can work through them yourselves in kind of a self-paced journey, course-based type of journey, boot camp, following the content for the context so that you have the structure and strategies. But the first place that we really want to get folks going, and why we invite people into our community into a trial period, is to complete an exit ready challenge. And in our exit ready challenge, what we challenge you to do is get access to your template, right? To actually get into a personal exit plan. This is something that, there's folks out there that sell for, significant amounts of money, 5 figures. We created a process where we want every single person who we potentially are going to work with in some level of relationship at all to be able to start here and start simple. So you can get access to it. You can get access to the personal exit plan and work through it. And then following the materials and the content inside of the challenge, inside the community, you can complete the 3 steps. And in completing the 3 steps, you can schedule a call with an advisor or a broker from our team, and we'll invest up to 2 hours with you for free. And the byproduct of it is you'll work through a personal exit plan, which is well structured. And then we'll digest that information and we'll spit out to you a deliverable. And that deliverable will be reviewed, and it's an exit ready proposal. And it's pretty much us ingesting the information that you provide. And then based off of that information, it's us saying, hey, this is what you've said. This is what we've heard. Based off of that information, out of the 5 exits of ownership, right? Because when you're owning a business, there's not just the final exit. It's not just selling a business. There's actually 5 exits. There's the concept of leaving your day job, exit your job and make your business your job, right? That's exit number one. There's exit number two, exit out of doing all the work, start hiring a team, right? Exit number three, stop or exit managing the people and start running a business, right? Start building a business system. Exit four, stop running the business, stop operating the business, exit out of the day to day and hire an operator or hire a leadership team. Exit number five is the most common thing. That's what people think about. It's like sell your business. But really, there's a process to be able to get there. There's 5 exits of ownership. And what we want to do with this personal exit plan is identify which exit you are, right? So where you are, and then we want to target where you want to be. We want to set a goal line. We want to understand, what it is that you're trying to achieve. Are you trying to, set something up that you can operate for yourself and run yourself for the next 5-10 years, which is perfectly okay? Are you trying to get yourself out of the day-to-day? The first real exit is exit 4 and hiring an operator. Are you looking to get out of the day-to-day within the next few years? Are you looking to sell the business completely in the next few years, right? So we're trying to identify which exit you are. And regardless of where you are, it's perfectly okay because everything starts somewhere. And then we want to set a goal line of where you want to be. And in that process of working through this personal exit plan, which again, all of this is complimentary, right? So we do this for free for anybody who takes the time to invest in the process. And we believe in trust the process, commit to the journey. And the reason why we do all this stuff is to get to know you. And based off of getting to know you, we can make a proposal to you. And we can say, hey, it sounds like these are the blockers in your way, right? It sounds like this is where you are and this is where you want to be. And these are the things that are in the way. So let's unblock the blockers. And in our process, what we've done is we've created a journey. We've created an approach to help folks unblock the blockers and unlock value inside the business. And this is really for us where rubber meets road, because this is our first opportunity to start to try to assess businesses that we can then allocate capital to or bring on as clients inside of our advisory firm or position solutions from our portfolio, which we also want to finance, right? So we're trying to, again, selfishly reduce risk inside of any of the deals that we get inside of, deal being a business owner we partner with for capital. But we're trying to do so by understanding where businesses are and how do we create value inside of the businesses that we're working with, right? So our job, the job to be done and what we believe to be the best in the world at, what we're committed to being the best in the world at, what we've written the books on, right? Outside of book on bootstrapping, but we've written the book on wedge equity, is building wedge equity inside of businesses. And wedge equity is this yellow here. This is the triangle that you see, or the wedge that you see. And it's what we can unlock by understanding, what your business is worth, why it's worth it, and then systematically creating a plan of how to make it worth more. And by taking specific actions, by pulling specific levers inside of your business, we can build wedge equity. We can build brand equity. We can build operational equity. Brand equity is your money's multiple. The money's multiple is ultimately the value that people are willing to put a multiplier on, when they're targeting the value of your business. Operational equity is the risk ratio. So how people beat you up on price. We focus on both, and we've simplified the process to build wedge or build a more valuable business with folks that we're partner with. So your value of your business today, your value of your business if you were to do things to unlock value, the thing in the middle is the wedge, right? And time is always moving forward. So if you're interested in building wedge, and if it's something that's viable for us to do with you and partner with you, we have 2 different approaches. We have a community container, a group accountability based approach, where we provide the structure, strategies, and the accountability comes from the community. You get paired up with peers and you kind of collaborate together to hold each other accountable to building wedge. And then we have an advisory based approach, which is led by our advisory team and our advisory firm. And it's a very one-to-one focused level of accountability to pretty much ensure that wedge gets built, right? Regardless, it all follows a process that we've laid out, and it follows a plan, an equity plan. So the first place that we want to start, if we were to build wedge together or build a more valuable business with you, is to get to a plan, an equity plan. And the way we get to an equity plan, all of this is delivered through our community. So we would onboard you into the community and we get you a client portal, right? Where we can build a relationship and help you navigate through this process. The way that we start navigating the process is with a valuation. So again, earlier I mentioned that we have a business brokerage firm. We help folks buy and sell businesses. It's the simplest place to find and finance your next acquisition, right? But we also have a business advisory firm. And between the two, we've gotten pretty good at doing business valuations. So we've created a very comprehensive business valuation. In order to start with the business valuation, we first start with a business system checklist. And based off of the exit, right? Again, there's 5 exits. Based off of your exit, we create a checklist per exit, right? So not every business is built the same, and not every business is the same at each of the exits. An exit 1 business is much different than an exit 5 business. So we start with a checklist of where your business should be at, what should be inside of your business, what should be included in your business based off of your exit. And we get an assessment of what's there versus, what's not, what needs work, what's good to go, what's not relevant. Based off of this basic level of a simple checklist, which, we're able to pull with you in a very short, efficient, effective manner, we're then able to start to jump into a true valuation of your business. And the valuation of your business is going to come from your financials. So we're going to collect some financial information. We're going to get to a base level multiplier so that we understand what your money's multiple is. We're going to then go into a brand equity assessment where we're going to deep dive the different components that build up your brand equity, right? So how you're acquiring customers, how you're retaining customers, how you're diversifying your customer portfolio. And each of these things, we have a way to make it simple for us to extract this information about your business. So we get pretty specific pretty fast, and all of it gets us to a score. We then take that inventory checklist, we put that to a score. We then repeat that process with your operational equity, and we complete an operational equity assessment. And all of these things ultimately, for you, it should be an enjoyable process. It should be a fairly enjoyable experience because we've really productized the way that we're able to do it. And by productized, I mean we've simplified the journey. Trust the process, commit to the journey. It's much easier to commit to the journey if the journey is simple, right? If it's enjoyable. So we've tried to craft a pretty enjoyable experience. The byproduct of working through this becomes reports, right? It becomes plans. First, you're going to end up with a business valuation, right? So we're going to work through and actually get you to a full business valuation, which is a fairly comprehensive. I mean, it's simple in regards to the information that we're providing. You're providing you exactly what you need to know, why you need to know it. But the more importantly is the why, because we worked with you through the entire process. We know exactly why your business is what it is. We know why your brand equity risk ratio is what it is, what your system risk ratio is, what your operational risk ratio is. And because we took the time to truly diligence your business on a line item way, right, with intention and purpose, and then we know what your value is, it puts us in a position where we can make a proposal in terms of an equity transformation plan. And in this equity transformation plan, it allows us to identify how we can build wedge equity in your business. We know how to build it because we know why, we know what your business is worth, and we know why it's valued at that. Because we know the why, we can then position a plan to systematically improve the value of your business over time. And then we propose that plan, right? And in proposing the plan, we're also understanding your vision, your purpose, your mission. We're working with a Northstar so that we're aligning into your values, not just the valuation of your business, but your values, what your business is about, why you built your business in the first place, like what you are trying to accomplish and the culture that you're trying to establish with your team, because that matters. And we're trying to get a level of alignment, right? So it's a financial left, it's a personal why, it's a value-based right. And then we create a strategy, a Northstar strategy that aligns us forward so that we can move your business forward. right? By working with that, what that gives us is a framework. It gives us a place to start. And again, everything starts somewhere. We like to start with a simple plan or an equity plan. And then ultimately that allows us to, if you want to, continue to implement our equity management system to build Wedge equity. And what we've done with our equity management system is we've taken the exact approach, the structures, the strategies, the accountability, the approach, the process that we follow with our own businesses to operate, right? So we're a holding company. We own a lot of different businesses, and we've had to standardize the way in which we operate at scale to be able to build a profit-led, profitable business, right? And when you're not relying on venture and you're relying on the profit in your pocket, doing things in a predictable, sustainable manner that produces predictable, sustainable, quality results so your customer experience is consistent, so that your forecasts are consistent, so that you can plan appropriately. That's the way in which you ultimately get yourself to this level of like freedom, like people say freedom, but that's how. What it is realistically just predictability based off of sustainability. So the more calm, the more sustainable you could build your business, the more, like clockwork, the more predictable it is, which means the easier it is to forecast, to know your numbers and forecast, to be able to understand the metrics that matter, to be able to quickly, assess from a scorecard, owner scorecard, whether or not things are working. If it's green, yellow, red, where does the attention need to be? So that you can hit your profit-led waterfalls and make sure the profit is flowing through your business appropriately, putting profit truly in your pocket, right? But doing it in a responsible manner so that you're running a profit-led business, because there's something to being a profit-led business. First, it's, are we making sure our operational accounts are filled so we can pay our bills this month? Do we have a rainy day fund set up so that we're covered for the next 3 months if something was to happen? Are we filling our war chest so that we can make strategic decisions in our business? Are we filling up an operator account so that eventually we can stop having to work in this business every day and get ourselves out of the business and hire an operator? Are we hitting our own profit goals so that the business is paying us passively, right? So there's a process to be able to approach being a profit-led business. And what we do with our equity management system, which is quite literally a system that we license out to businesses that we work with so that we can help them adopt it, get to utilization, so that we can build Wedge equity, build a more valuable business, right? This is how we build the more valuable business based off of the plan, based off of the known valuation of the business, why it's valued, where the gaps are. This is how we fill it, and we fill it in a sustainable manner, in your standardized way. So it's organized around profit, right? So first you're going to know your numbers. We're going to get to the metrics that matter. We're going to fill our profit-led waterfall so that we're filling the right buckets at the right time with the right focus and right allocations. So we're going to organize around profit. We're going to then standardize around product, because you want to deliver a consistent standardized product to your customers, right? That's how you build that strong reputation and brand equity, right? You want to acquire customers in a repeatable manner. You want to deliver value to your customers in a repeatable manner. So we're going to re-audit our business system checklist. We're going to make sure that all those things that needed work get worked on, right? So that we can navigate from the current exit we are to the next exit and consistently build out our system, our business system. We're going to map out our profit engine, right? So we're going to know our numbers. Let me just show you, not tell you. So we're going to know our numbers. We're going to work through our profit-led waterfalls. We're going to be able to set the metrics that matter. We're going to map out our customer touchpoint journeys. So we're understanding from the different aspects of our profit engine how customers are coming in, and ultimately how we're helping them navigate through our system of retention so we can retain them, how we're converting them, how we retain them, right? This is ultimately what we're doing to drive and deliver value through our business. We need to know it. We need to map it so we can know it, so we can then visualize it. Same with our back-end process engine, right? So we want to know how the revenue flows through our business, and then we want to map out the processes that we're running to support that throughput, support that revenue, so that we can then visualize it, right? So we want to be able to map it, which is quite literally understanding the step-by-steps, process mapping, process-led mapping based off of profit and process, how we support profit. And then we're going to visualize it and create a journey schematic, right? If we can write it, if we can visualize it, we can perfect it over time. We can definitely do it, right? Which, by taking the action here of standardizing around product, it sets us up to actually successfully do what everybody tells you should do, which is, oh, you got to create, SOPs, you got to create these standard operating procedures, you need to create KPIs and all of this stuff. The reality is when you're running a profit-led business and you're trying to optimize for your people at the end of the day, what you're really trying to do is simplify around process. By simplifying around process is how you ultimately support higher quality output. You're trying to get more done with less time in a more efficient and effective manner. And that type of simplification around process usually leaves your people happier, right? They deliver higher quality, right, for better outcomes, and they're doing it in less time, and they enjoy what they do when you can keep it simple. Simple works, but simple is not easy. For us to get to simplifying around process, it takes all of this pre-work. We want to know what the business is worth. We want to know why. We want to set targets that support the core profit-led financials of the business for long-term sustainability. We want to be able to map out the processes, right, and appreciate what needs to be taking place. And then that gets us to a measure what matters. The measure what matters allows us to focus on the key levers, the value drivers inside the business, the processes that truly deliver the value, so we can focus and set targets. In our measure what matters, we're setting targets across the business system, and we're associating those targets. Other people can call them KPIs or whatever, something that you can measure. You're setting targets based off the different components of your business system, and then you're mapping that to the processes that need to be followed, right? So the how. You're mapping it to the who, the people, right? Your delegation of responsibilities. And then you're putting it into a cadence where you can ultimately measure it to make sure the right things are happening at the right time to get to the right outcomes done by the right people, right? And you know that everything's good. And you can keep track in a visual way. It's almost like an executive. This is kind of, before that, I said the metrics that matter, that becomes the operator, the owner's scorecard, right? So when you're an owner, you want to pay attention to the metrics. When you're an operator, you're going to be paying attention to the measure what matters scorecard. And it just gives you a heartbeat, a pulse of the business, telling you, what's good versus what's bad across all aspects of the company. And it allows you to run really, really efficiently and effectively with the right level of delegated responsibilities across the organization, right? Once you get to the measure what matters, your core equity management system is set up to a certain extent, like the foundation, the bones of it. Now it's time to live in it, right? So now we want to live inside of our equity management system. And to live inside of it, we're going to be running retrospectives. And if you choose to go the advisory route with us and work with an advisor to be able to implement an equity management system, then you're going to work with an advisor who's going to hold you accountable to implementing and adopting and utilizing an equity management system. We're going to have a weekly or bi-weekly meeting cadence, right? And you're going to have the right level of oversight into making sure you are measuring what matters. And based off of that, you're going to be running retrospectives, which is, what are we trying? Like, what are we testing? What simple bet did we test? What worked? What didn't work? Why? What did we learn? What are we going to do? Right? And it keeps you in a standardized cadence. Over time, you're going to build out a library of SOPs. And the reason why we do this, and the reason why we do this over time, is the core goal at the end of the day, by implementing your equity management system, is to systematically go from an exit 1 business system checklist to an exit 3 business system checklist, which means that you're ready to start to hire an operator, get out of the business. Exit 4 is that first real exit, right? So that then you can get to exit 5, which ultimately is a sellable business. And our job is to build sellable assets. We want to convert our businesses from liabilities, which for the vast majority of business owners, your business is not an asset. Your business is a liability. That's likely why 75% plus of businesses go out of business and fail within the first 5 years, because it's not an asset, it's a liability. By adopting this, by implementing the equity management system, we will convert your business from a liability to an asset. And as an asset, it will be sellable. And when it's time to sell, hopefully you sell it through us with our business brokerage, and we'll sell it for more, right? Higher valuations, better terms on investment, larger exit multiples. When it's time to exit, we'll exit for more. That's why we systematically want to document our SOPs. So it's a transferable asset. We want to take away any key man risk that may be inside of the business. We want to turn this into something that somebody else can buy, take over, and run at a profit, right? In order to do that, we're going to accomplish the very last goal, which is to optimize around people. And this is all about sustainability of the company, right? So now we're adopting our process, we're running with our process, and we're optimizing around our people. And the way we optimize around our people is to get very, very clear. We revisit the Northstar workshop, which is something that we did at the very, very start of our journey. When we put together our valuation plan, we wanted to know a little bit more about why you're doing your business and a little bit more about the direction of your business. We're going to revisit that and go deeper into it strategically, because strategy equals focus at the end of the day. So we're going to give you the focus so that you have the right strategy that you can implement inside your business to get to the right outcomes, right? We're going to understand your vision, your purpose, your mission. We're going to craft it in a way that allows other folks on your team, employees, customers, stakeholders, to really rally around it, because culture is the powerful driver. The moment in time when you're no longer involved in your business, your culture always will be, and it drives you forward. So you want to know your North Star, you want to be clear with your North Star, and you want to be able to share it in a way that other people can rally around it. You want your North Star strategy to be aligned with your financials, with your know your numbers, profit-led financials. And you want to make sure the processes that you're supporting in the middle here deliver on those realities. You want the numbers to meet the vision. And this is how implementing our equity management system is how the numbers meet the vision. This is how you achieve it, right? Because then we can outline the objectives, the strategies, the actions for ongoing management of cadence. And we create this calendar of accountability. And the calendar of accountability ultimately becomes like the drum in which your company beats to. It's the standardized cadence. It's the normal. It's the new normal. It's what people expect, right? And then they rise to those expectations. And they do so by creating reports that get reviewed and appreciated. We don't want to do something for the sake of doing it. In our system, in our ecosystem, when we do things with intention and purpose. So we're going to have reports because reports are important. It's how you share information. But when somebody creates a report, there's going to be a calendar of accountability to review and respect that report. Oftentimes that comes back to this set retrospective process, right? So it'll be sharing information and then running a retrospective on the insights. What does it mean to us and what are we doing about it? And oftentimes all of this is tied back to our measure what matters and metrics that matter. That way you're not, it's not, death by 1,000 reports, right? You want a simple thing. You want a simple system. So we've tried to overlap as many of the blocking and tackling, as many of the moving pieces as we possibly can to pretty much create this standardized cadence that's pretty simple at the end of the day once it's set up. And all you got to do is follow it and then use it. And by utilizing it, you will ultimately execute on your equity transformation plan, right? Because you have a plan and now you're working on it. Now you're actually systematically building towards it. You will increase your value of the business. And every single quarter in working with us, we'll redo the valuation. So we'll create a new valuation. Your advisor, your broker that you're working with will do a new valuation of your business, and we'll benchmark your equity that has been built up. And by benchmarking equity, it affords us the opportunity to offer you an equity line of credit. So as we're building a more valuable business, as you're implementing the equity management system, as you're working with an advisor for utilization of value and executing on your plan, you will be building the wedge equity, and you can convert that equity that you build into capital. And that's how we allocate our performance-based capital to reduce the risk, because we're only investing capital and we're only offering capital to businesses that we know, businesses that we've diligenced, that we understand the value and what the key value drivers are, and are operating at a standardized cadence and are actually truly building value and equity in their business over time, sustainable, ones that will pay us back, right? So we're taking the risk off the table, and that's why. Now, if you need some help in terms of, additional things, then we have our whole portfolio of brands that we're continually looking to build, right? Because the equity management system, it's not a silver bullet. It's not going to fix everything in your business. It's just giving you structure, strategy, and accountability, which at the end of the day, it's structure, strategy, and accountability that does deliver simple, profitable outcomes for most business owners. But there's other things. There's things like bookkeeping. So if you need profit-led bookkeeping, we offer that in one of our portfolio businesses, right? If you need some help with customer acquisition, building your profit engine, we offer that with one of our portfolio companies, right? If you're looking to grow from a human capital perspective, right, we offer that with one of our portfolio companies. So once you get in with us, once you're working with us, once we're building equity and you've adopted our equity management system, our job is to continue to support you as you continue to build wedge equity. Hopefully we're able to finance you. Hopefully at some point you're ready to sell and we are able to represent you. In the meantime, while you're working through this, you'll also get access to our Simple Bets playbook, which is a really comprehensive breakdown as of today. And we're always adding to this. So like all of these things that I'm showing you today, again, I'm not telling you, I'm not trying to just like pitch you something. I'm trying to just show you what it is that we do. This is what we do. This is what we do for ourselves. This is what we do every single day. And there's a reason behind it. We document everything. This is 243 pages right now. The documents, I'm not going to scroll through it because you got to buy it first. You got to license it. But this shows you how to implement everything inside of our equity management system. So think of it, instead of a playbook, it could easily be a manual, like a systems manual. But you'll get access to that so that you can do it yourself. You can do it with advisors. You can do it in the community. Our workbook on wedge equity, which is published, you can pick that up on Amazon. This book is a textbook into itself. This is, I think, 300 and something pages, but this has all templates and stuff in it. It doesn't show you the tactical implementation and utilization like our playbook does, right? Like the license manual does. But the workbook actually works you through how to build like a lot of the concepts, and it's in a templatized way to help you design and build and unlock wedge equity in your business. So all of these things that we've done and created, we've tried to do it in a very purpose-driven way. We've tried to do it in a way where we can actually keep it simple, where we can trust the process and commit to the journey. And the reason why is because we want to ultimately, invest in you, and we want to invest in less risky businesses. And the way that we take risk out of the businesses that we work with and invest in is by implementing equity management systems, by helping through our advisory, the development and the growth of wedge equity, unlocking value, and then supporting from a tactical perspective all of our flexible solutions, right? We want to create all of the solutions that a business owner ultimately needs to build a more profit-led business, a simple, profitable business. Hopefully after, watching this and seeing, right? Not just hearing, but, making this more of a show and not tell. Hopefully you are going to, walk away from this. Hopefully getting back to the beginning, right? Where we begin is oftentimes where we want to end. Hopefully we accomplish the goals. Hopefully you're walking away from this and being like, man, that did look pretty good. I see that they put a lot of effort into this. I understand their why. I get why they're doing this, right? They're trying to make better investments into better businesses and take risk off the table. And in order to do that, they've invested a tremendous amount of effort and energy. It takes a ton of time to write the number of books, to record 200 YouTube videos, to write a newsletter every single week, to document and create all the intellectual property behind all these templates, to build a team, to train people. Like, it takes a tremendous amount of effort to pull that off. And they're doing it for the right reasons, because at the end of the day, small business is the backbone of the American economy. We are the number one employer, and we are very much so underserved. We're underserved because the market itself is broken. There's not enough people that care. There's not enough people that care for the right reasons. There's not enough people that are willing to put in the hard work to just show up every single day, to do this for the right reasons, so that we can support each other, so that we can build better together, so that we can do something amazing. And in the process, hopefully create a lot of value, right? Build better businesses, put more profit in our pockets, so that ultimately, we can achieve this goal of a more balanced lifestyle and a higher level of happiness, overall happiness. Hopefully this showed you enough to be like, man, that would probably be pretty valuable to me. What do I have to lose? And if that's where you're landing of like, what do I have to lose? Then the small ask, the simple bet, that we would ask you to take is to go over in the document that you have, right? So in the letter that you have, there's links to all of our digital products, right? All of our licensed products that we've created, you can get access to, and there's promo codes. So you don't have to pay for this stuff. If you want to, that's awesome. But if you don't want to, if you want to just try it before you buy it to a certain extent, do so, right? At the end of every single one of these letters is a full deliverable of something that we've built. In this one, in the copy that I'm in right now, it's the whole book on bootstrapping. I'm literally giving away a 400-page book that I took the time to write. It took me a decade plus to get enough experience to write it. I'm giving it away. We do that with all the digital products that we create, so that we can at least create some value and start with some value goodwill. We ask that you go over. You can get access to these things from the shop. Again, it's shop at Bootstrapper Capital. You follow the process. You pick what you want. Notion operating system. It's pretty cool. It's pretty great. You go to add to cart. You put in your promo code if you need to. Otherwise, you just check out. I already have it locked in here, I believe. Then you just check out. Once you check out, you're going to get an invite to the community so that you can start your personal exit plan. You'll also get a prompt to schedule a call so that we can actually kick off your personal exit plan, which will allow us to work through, get you the templates, hopefully position value through a proposal by truly appreciating where you're at and where you want to be, and systematically making recommendations based off of the right type of approach at the right level for the right reasons. We are really trying to deliver a tremendous amount of value for everybody that we're working with. This isn't for everybody. We're not going to be able to create value for everybody. It's not a one size fits all. It's definitely not a silver bullet. But for the right types of business owners, the business owners who truly want to build something sustainable, they want to appreciate their people, right? They want to optimize for their people, for their employees, for their customers, right? Build better business, unlock value. If you're a later stage and you're getting ready to truly exit and sell, take action. Don't leave money on the table. It's the silliest thing. It would be so foolish to leave money on the table. And if you're earlier into the process, or you're in this journey in the heart of it, get some help, right? We've invested tremendously to hopefully simplify something that is not otherwise simple. Till the next time, appreciate you for watching this to the end here. Trust the process, commit to the journey.